computer in my car alerted. I looked at the call and saw it said confirmed holdup. The information we were given was the suspects were leaving in a black Honda Accord. They were basically coming right towards me.
When I heard the emergency tone, my ears peaked up. A bank robbery is one of the most serious calls because not only would it carry penalties within the state, but federally. I wanted to be the one to get behind the suspect. I was within a minute and a half to 2 minutes of making contact. Clemson approaching Fair Road.
As I got closer, it was a black Honda Accord with a 45-day tag. It's a bank robbery suspect. They just robbed a bank. They all are armed. Okay, this is gonna be chase them till the wheels fall off.
Central 631 up behind a dark and color Honda Accord. It's a temporary tag, ABF Auto Sales. He's turning into Longleaf in the middle. Negative, turning left onto Heather Green. Yeah, correction, right onto Heather Green.
I began getting into a hunt mode. We had our prey. All we had to do is get them to stop.
That's one of the reasons I got into law enforcement as well was, got into it to drive fast.
We stop, we're making a right on the Corson Loop.
Corson Loop is lined with houses, both sides. Every street off of Heather Green Drive ends in a cul-de-sac. So obviously I know that, and it's either gonna be them running on foot or a shootout. I had my seatbelt off, my left hand was on the door handle, my weapon was out of my holster.
We were both locked in on the vehicle. I'm not only going after these subjects, I'm keeping an eye on my deputy, and I'm going to do whatever I could to keep him safe.
We're passing Camus Court. Making a left at the dead end.
I caught my mirror, and that's the first time during this whole incident that I knew somebody else with the sheriff's department was with me.
I've known McAdams since before he was a deputy sheriff. He's always been a very steadfast officer. He's got the fighting spirit.
Or correct, making a left, correct. Making a left.
Something told me, don't know what it was. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I saw windshield fragments go everywhere. I had no idea how many times my car was actually hit.
Shots fired, shots fired!
I was able to hold the driver's door open with my foot and fully get down in my driver's seat.
I did feel the rounds hitting my car. I could hear them still impacting McAdams' vehicle as well.
I don't necessarily remember feeling any, being scared, being frightened. It was more or less, what do I need to do to make sure I make it out of this?
Shots fired.
Time slowed down.
My goal was, at that point, to try and draw the fire and keep it from McAdams. I was able to draw my weapon, and I leveled up on one of the passengers getting out of the vehicle. And I fired through my windshield. I struck him twice in the leg. I'm yelling to McAdams to make sure he's all right.
Cover my side! Cover my side! Tactical gear. Right.
We have 3 subjects at large. McAdams and I were only 2 deputies. We had residents that had been home starting to exit, so containing the scene at that point became the chief priority.
Once my mind caught up to what had just happened, just felt like I was gonna throw up everywhere. Definitely was weak, and I ended up trying to catch my breath and calm down. I remember asking if I could call my mom. I just needed to talk to her.
As McAdams and I are returning back to our cars, there's a bystander coming down the road beeping the horn and saying they fled. They were in another vehicle.
This fucker, we just flagged down on scene. They're alleging they got into another dark color Honda Accord.
I knew everybody was coming. Once you put out shots fired over the radio, everybody in the county's coming. I remember talking with Captain Duke and saying how I wanted to go after him again and that I should have been the one chasing them the second time because they just shot at us, and just the definite mentality of, you just did that to me, now I'm really gonna get you. You're not gonna outrun me.
Myself and 31 are gonna be on the perimeter here.
And Captain Duke said, no, besides the fact that it's a crime scene, he was like, Ryan, they flattened all 4 of your tires. I was like, I can ride on rims. I'll chase them down on rims.
After a few minutes, I heard Deputy Copenhaver was directly behind the vehicle.
Bank robberies don't happen every day in Richland County or in the Columbia area. They had been involved in a gunfight. I can't think of anything more dangerous than somebody's willing to shoot it out with the police. We weren't going to give up till they are apprehended.
Alright, come on, come to the church.
Their speed was anywhere from probably 85 to 100 miles an hour. Those roads are not designed for that kind of speed. There's very little shoulder. I figured the longer we let this go, the more chances for a bad outcome.
All right, crossing Fiska Church, outbound Wilson. Region 3, also be advised that the vehicle is now passing. Going to oncoming traffic. Run oncoming traffic off the road. Still outbound Wilson.
A mom in her minivan, I believe she had her children in the minivan, was coming southbound. This takes us to a different level.
All right, Max, stretch. If I get a clean shot, he's going in the ditch.
At that moment, I thought for sure, when he came around that semi-truck and I saw a van coming at him, I said, this is where it ends, and it's going to end in a traffic collision, and it's going to be bad. If something happened to me, I knew the ramifications when I signed my name on the line to be a sheriff's deputy. That mom and her kids didn't. This is going to be one of those scenarios like, you know, we're just going to bang him in the ditch. We're going to terminate this pursuit as quickly as possible, because he was not concerned about anybody else's safety. I was even questioning if he was concerned about his own. The adrenaline factor and the risk factor of this scenario was Probably the highest I've seen in my 25-year career.
Okay, that's up to you in this moment.
He forced me into the back end of him. At that point, it was like, okay, all bets are off.
All right, I hit him once. Stand by for a second shot.
Stop. Maxwell, get out of the way, Maxwell.
And it kind of shot him off the side of the road, and he hit a street sign and came back on. But at this point, his hood had popped up. I was basically to have a front row seat to a catastrophe.
Still moving. One ditch is hood is blocking the vision. Still outbound.
I think the fact that they showed total disregard for anybody else's safety, that was maybe one of 3 times in my 25-year career where I actually got angry at a suspect.
Scope, when you hit him, stay down.
They were expecting a second gun battle to ensue. He was driving completely blind. My thought was, we're gonna bring this to a conclusion, one form or another, right here and now. Two of the suspects flee out the back passenger door into the trailer park. The driver's still in the car. Myself and Brad Maxwell took him out of the car at gunpoint and placed him in handcuffs safely. We had the other 2 in custody probably in about 45 seconds. When I searched the car after we had all 3 in custody, we found close to $10,000 in U.S. currency that was stolen from the bank. There was a Mac 11 and 2 handguns.
My car had been hit multiple times, but the reality of everything, of how quick it could have gone a different way, I guess the reality of that set in when I looked at Captain Duke's car, and there was a bullet hole in like just about dead center of his driver's seat headrest. It definitely put things into perspective.
At the time, my son was only 9 months old, and realizing how close I'd come to that line. And it's assumed in our duty that that's a possibility, but whenever you're faced with it, really, it's a different sense, especially that you know you came that close, but you made it.
Later in the evening, after we got released from headquarters, my mom came over to the house. I don't remember us really saying anything. She was just focused on being a mom and worrying about me.
My name is Dawn McAdams. Ryan McAdams is my son. I saw a call come in from Ryan, and I just let it go to voicemail.
Hey, Mom, before you see it on the news, I'm okay. So I just Captain said I could call and tell you that at least for now. Bye.
The following days, I didn't really sleep that much. It would play over in my head over and over. He coded on going to the hospital. They were fine.
I realized that he really was not coping well. I could see it in the way he was becoming detached. I absolutely think Ryan's life changed that day.
One of my first nights back, I started stopping cars again. And there was one that I was stopping them for speeding. I remember I turned the lights on and immediately they stopped. So without thinking, I had my gun out of my holster, pointed at the car, and was getting out of my car with my gun pointed at the driver's door. And then I sat there and I was like, what am I doing? Best way to describe it would be post-traumatic stress. So at that point I figured I should probably look into that.
I'm extremely proud of the way McAdams handled himself. He showed that admitting this didn't hinder your ability to be a law enforcement officer.
People need to feel more comfortable about their mental health. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. Words can't describe how proud I am of him.
I'm definitely in a better place.